Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor podcast.
Well, V, why don't we, get into that point of the show where it's that time to talk about the Bachelorette on our show. Yeah, we doing this. Shout out to everybody that's finding us on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like us. We're here to talk about week 7 of the Bachelorette. V, where do we go from here? Where do we start?
Week 7, it's hometowns. And
man.
I questioned how they were going to do it because, they switched locations. But I was like, how many location switches are they going to do? Because it still is COVID and they still have very high protocols for the show.
Right.
And they didn't switch locations. They're doing hometowns, but in Minnesota. So first up is Brandon. Brandon, is everyone's sweet little puppy dog fave. Definitely a little cutie pie. He decides he's from Portland and he decides to show his his little bit of Portland. Mm-hmm. He's going to take Michelle to this creepy ass garage skate park. Like they walk up to this little slatted garage door situation in an alley. And I'm just kind of like, if some man, I know there's cameras and stuff, so obviously something has to be safe, right?
I mean, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. He has to do something in a place where he doesn't even know, and this is the best they could do.
I know, but it definitely the way that I feel like they could have come into it a different way. The way it was all right.
Yeah, it did look like some, what is that that show where they go into different storage units and stuff
Oh, it's Storage Wars, or what is that called?
It looks like Storage Wars, the intro to that
being
show.
all how much you gonna bid?
Yeah.
But that's hilarious. But so they skate. He used to skate with his brother and stuff and his family. He keeps alluding to how it was a family thing. I kind of am what kind of he almost makes it seem like they kind of did some sort of not professional, but amateur level skating. But we don't get any sort of insight to that, so I'm this is bizarre. And then he also is totally goofing on the board. He just can't even, he's messing up, and he's I'm just so nervous, man. I'm just so
he's falling
nervous
down and stuff.
Fatality.
I was just oh my god. I mean, I just feel you'd be better at skateboarding to suggest to do it. I mean, I'm surprised he was able to make good on that. I was oh man, she's really not feeling this date. But she said some nice stuff at the end of it, and then they go on to meet his folks, which went really well. How would you describe it?
I think it went really well. She already I felt like she had a good conversation with I think it was Brandon's dad that she was talking to him about are their dads potentially fishing together, or was that one of the other dads?
No, it was him.
Okay, I thought it was him. And I guess Brandon's brother Noah pushed back when he was supposed to be going into the Navy to support his brother for the show, which I'm that's insane. How did that work? That seems a little sus to me. It seems a little too perfect. And I was saying when I was watching the show, when I was doing my tipsy talks on our Instagram, was that if my brothers were on this show with me, they would just be firing me up. They would literally just be talking. This guy, Noah, really did ask. He's do you really think you could see, forever, with her, and kind of ask her that same thing. And I feel my brothers would just literally be bro.
I know this is the first time that I actually put myself in a situation of if my mom was there and stuff, how she would act, because it's
boy.
I mean, you just get, I don't know how the lights and the cameras go on, and it's hey mom, I haven't seen you forever, and she just asking all her questions, she's all excited and stuff, you're whoa, slow down. But I mean, they all handle it really well. I mean, up in I think
I felt Brandon's family did really well. They seemed everything seemed to really vibe with them. She seemed comfortable with them. Joe's was next.
Yes.
And Joe actually gets to do a real hometown because they're in his hometown pretty much. Like
Yep.
they're in Minneapolis. He's from there. So they get to go, just like she did her little high school jaunt. They get to go to his high school, and he like shows you her like his spot and gets all like handsy in his spot. And I was like, all right, Joe, let's calm it down here. Okay, buddy.
I know there's kids that walk through these halls.
Yeah, let's not taint this spot. Who knows?
I know. Now every kid is gonna be making out there and like, hey, it's only third period.
Yeah, no.
Go to
gross.
class.
I sometimes think back to like just how like annoying teenagers are like in the halls. Like they really forget like everyone. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then they have like a little prom situation because I don't know, why is this such a thing? Like I didn't get to have a prom. Like are there so many people out here that just really didn't get to have a prom or didn't get to go to prom that aren't like child actors? Like I'm so confused by this. But
yeah, there's a lot of prom themes on the show lately. So
I know. I'm like, I really think maybe one of the producers really has some sort of prom thing, like really is trying to recreate their prom. So maybe that's really the force. But they do a little prom. One of the pictures, like they had like a cute little photo booth that they were taking pictures in. And honestly, them together, Michelle and Joe, are probably the most beautiful couple. Like Joe just is a beautiful man. I think all these dudes pretty much left are very attractive, but Joe is just like, he's got those like beautiful light eyes, like in his darker skin. He's just really pretty. Like they're all really pretty together. But then we move on to hanging out with his family, which we figure out that like him being quiet is seemingly genetic because his brother's also pretty quiet.
yeah,
And his dad's pretty quiet.
yeah.
And I think it's funny. This is something I didn't say in my Tipsy Talks, but I feel like his brother has a little bit of an Oedipus complex because his brother also is married to a white girl who has red hair, just like his dad is married to a white woman with red hair.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, let's not get psychology in here, but we could.
yeah,
We could.
Let's not. But yeah. I mean, it was just funny because like the brother's wife was the one that did the most talking for the family.
I loved it. She was asking like the hard, and she even said in her little like, interview thing, she's all like, yeah, I know the Coleman men. They're kind of quiet. So I was like,
We'll see how interesting this could get or something like that. They probably won't be saying much. And it was hilarious, the little cut they did of Joe talking to his dad. Like, I know you got some questions. He's like, nope. Yep. Uh-huh.
I was like, all right, good talk.
Yeah. It's like, it was just so funny. So yeah, so I mean, I guess that one went all right too. I mean, I felt like Joe still was like, it would be hard.
He's still holding back,
Yes.
I feel like. And I think it was funny because the sister-in-law was all like, well, hopefully this works out because we'll definitely see her in the grocery store otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, that's so true. That's like the most realistic thing. Like, that is so true. Like, they'll run into each other. Like, no doubt. Like, there's no getting around that. So it could either be awkward or they'll just have to, cross that bridge.
What's with Joe's in grocery stores? Oh, what?
Oh, man. You went for it. You went for it, though.
You got to go for it sometimes. Well, what other hometowns were going on?
So then we had Rodney, who,
How about them apples?
yeah. I mean,
How about them apples?
they were apples.
Oh.
The apple thing, I can't believe we've been really running this apple bit with Rodney.
Well, because she's the teacher and she likes apples. How about that? Them.
Oh, them. How about them apples? How about them apples? So I don't really. Did they even say where he's from? I don't even know if they said like where he's from. They just were like, let's do Minnesota has a first kiss apple. Let's go apple picking. and then ride our bikes through this apple orchard and do a blind taste test. And then in the bloopers, they had, how they like did a little fake cooking show situation.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like, it was sad to see, knowing that, like, I just knew he was going to go home. I think we said it last week. We
said it last week. He's giving friend energy.
Yeah.
He's giving sweet, like, nothing. There's nothing wrong with him. I think he's a great guy. And I think, he could be great for literally anybody else. I just don't think he's the vibe for Michelle. I think I don't know, like, it's just like they just don't click. And I think that's fine. And I think, Michelle came to find that after she met his family. His mom gave me some red flags. She said that she's best friends with her son. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And if you are, that's fucked up. That's weird. If I was dating a man and that man's mom told me that she's best friends with her son that I'm dating, that's a giant red flag to me.
Why?
That seems like a weird lack of boundaries as like a relationship with a parent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So any other red flags?
I mean, with them, I don't know. She just was so worried about, like, I felt like the mom just really drove their whole hometown situation. And she was just so worried about his heart being broken and, like, him not realizing how serious this was. And, I think she was also, like, questioning Michelle and everything because she's like, well, she's dating other people. Yeah. And, I mean, I get that. I think that's all natural. But, I mean, I think besides that, the rest of their hometown went fine. Nothing really to report. And then Nayte's was last, and I feel like they either it was filmed last or they just put it last because we get pretty much 3 run-of-the-mill, everything is peachy keen, going good. But Nayte had alluded, like, going into this that, like, there's these family dynamics. Family dynamics is, like, what he kept saying before and even during this date or whatever. Because, like, he has, like, a weird relationship with, like, his stepdad or, like, whatever. Just things aren't, he doesn't feel, like, as open and free or whatever. I don't even know. But, like, he kept saying stuff about that. But, yeah, they start off first. They do some paddle boarding, which, great. Good times. I, too, love to paddleboard.
People were making fun of him for wearing the same bathing suit.
The same bathing suit. And he said it's his lucky bathing suit, that bright orange bathing suit.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, hey, whatever works. I think they seem to have a fun time. They meet the family. And, this is his first time ever bringing a woman home to his family at all. Like, he never has, which I feel like every season there's, like, one person like that, at least. I don't know why they hyped this up more. I think they hyped it up more because Nayte talked about how he doesn't really talk about dating with his stepdad and stuff. Like, he just doesn't. So he doesn't have, like, I guess.
They also talked about, like, his mom and his stepdad just got a divorce, right?
Right. So things are dicey. Mm-hmm. So that kind of keeps being the theme of, like, the conversations that Michelle is having with the family or the family's having with each other about being all like, I don't know if Nayte's really ready. He doesn't know real love. All he's seen is, like, this or that or whatever. So, which I feel like is not giving Nayte the benefit of the doubt. Like, they say that, he doesn't actually understand what this love actually is. And, like, he actually, could be saying that he's all in and then not actually be all in when it actually is approached to him to be that way. But you know what? It seemingly ends well because him and his stepdad have, like, an emotional conversation and they, tell each other that they love each other for the first time, which, like, look at The Bachelorette, just bringing families together. Who would have thought? Not me.
Yeah, and then I thought they were going to send him home. But they didn't. When they got to the rose ceremony, it was Apple Pick and Rodney that ended up going home.
I think they really did try to set it up for us to like think, I think they were trying to do the bait and switch, because even when they kept doing like little Michelle's like, oh, it's such a hard decision, but like I don't want to be with someone that maybe won't be ready when the time is like when it comes, and blah 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 blah. So you really think she's going to eliminate Nayte. And I'm like, she can't, not Nayte. Like, Nate's always been a front runner. There's no way, like, he's going home now. Like, just because
he goes home next week.
I think he might too. But, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, Rodney goes home. They have a very emotional goodbye. She reassures him and this feels very like teacher to me. Like, she reassures him that he is enough, and that like it has nothing to do with like him not being enough and like whatever, because he, ran the whole I'm an underdog, like people, don't take me seriously kind of campaign. And she's like, no, like I took what we had very seriously. I really think you're a great person and blah, blah, blah. But, feelings work how feelings work.
Yeah. And he ends up going home, and he was very sad. I didn't really see too much of next week's episode. Like, did they show anything from that?
I felt like we just saw like more crying from Michelle and more being like whatever. I don't really know. One thing that we missed that happened during this episode is that Serena and Bree came on and surprised Michelle just to, kind of be like her little besties, give her some advice, let her know. I don't really think they bring up like, I don't think at this point Serena was engaged yet. So maybe this was like right before they left for whatchamacallit?
Paradise.
Or something like that. Or maybe it was right after they got done with it.
Yeah, I think it's more that.
She just had to like hide that kind of shit still.
They really went with a theme with this whole underdog thing for Rodney, but at the same exact time, then
they just take it and culturally appropriate it for Clayton, the next
what's
Bachelor.
What's going on here with that?
How is he an underdog? I see no underdog. They just wanted to put him with puppies on the poster.
Yeah. I mean, they were doing all these. If you guys didn't see Clayton, what's his last name?
Echard.
Clayton Echard, new promotion for his season of The Bachelor, which starts like right at the beginning of January. And they're going with the theme of like everyone loves an underdog or something like that. And it's just really weird because they're literally saying about Rodney on the episode on the same day as they put out this promotion. Like
it feels icky to me because he's not an underdog. He wasn't an underdog.
Yeah,
at all.
They picked him right from the beginning to do this. So.
He's like a 6'5" former football player from, a generally upper middle class life, went to a predominantly white institution as a white man. Come on. There's no underdogging here.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what the other promotion will be over the next couple weeks, but I thought it was interesting. Anything else come out of Bachelor Nation? Any other news?
Yes, Dean and Kaylin's little puppy pup, their dog that they have. Pappy died this week, which is sad stuff. They've brought that dog on many of their trips around the country and things in their van. It's always sad. They had like a nice little tribute to their dog.
I mean, I think they said it was only supposed to last a year. Like it was only supposed to live another year, and then it lived almost like 2. So, yeah, it was a cute ass little dog. Rest in peace, doggy, Pappy. All right, well, that'll do it for Bachelor news, right?
Well, yeah, the only other thing was that Claire Crowley was seen, I guess, like a week or so ago with, I think, comedian Jeff Dye. And people were like, ooh, are they dating? And then I guess he came out recently being all like, yeah, us going to that basketball game was hardly a date. So I don't know. I don't know if Claire's really back on the dating horse yet or not. So
interesting. Well, we'll just have to stay tuned. Episode 8 will be next week of The Bachelorette. And we got like 2 more episodes left or something? 2, 3?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be the Men Tell All. Do we skip a week next week, or what's going on?
I think next week is Men Tell All on Monday. I think it's back on its normal day. Let me double check. Men Tell All.
Yeah.
It's on Monday. So that's back, and then I think then, but it looks like, so this is when they show the preview of that. Tayshia and Caitlyn are wearing the same outfits they wore for Katie's Men Tell All.
What? No way.
Yeah way. Because remember how Tayshia wore that leather dress and Caitlyn wore that like sparkly stripy dress?
I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. It's blowing my mind.
So I kind of am trying to think, like, did they film these? Because so they might have been filmed at the same time.
It's almost impossible. But
it is almost impossible, but maybe it's not.
I don't know. Well, we'll just have to find out later, guys. That's our Bachelor.
Or are they just outfit repeaters?
They might be doing it for a reason.
Or did they just use a clip from them introducing Men Tell All from Katie's season?
I think we just figured it out, guys. We just figured it out live on the show. All right,
I don't
guys.
know. We'll have to see.
We'll just have to
it
see.
seems sus. It seems sus to me.
I don't know. I think you're reading too far into it, but
I always read too far.
That's how we do it.
Future Bachelor Podcast.